Hello everyone, my name is Flicker and welcome to my usual Sky Dailies. I've had a frustrating day, but I'm at least somewhat more mentally stable today for some reason. So there's that. And again, I may have just underestimated how much the other night took out of me. I kind of forget I logged out with the shovel equipped. Whoops. I'm not feeling particularly warm, so I'm gonna go back to this. Oh, it's an old look, but it's a good look. Damn it. Oh, it looks like an adventure braving my way into the dark. I think I need that imagery right now. I've got a video editing project I want to get done because it's been sitting here for way too long. Then I have recent memory moment projects I want to, you know, at least upload and have on the YouTube archive, even if YouTube goes down. I want to say that I at least tried to preserve them via that way. Because I've got... I have a 2 terabyte external hard drive and a like 400 gigabyte internal hard drive on my laptop. Yeah. I am down to like 30 gigabytes of storage space between them both. 15 on this laptop, which is being eaten away at right now as I record. And last I checked it was like 30 to 20, but I uploaded a few things today, so I don't know how much more is left. I hope you have a good work day. Yeah. What the fuck? Tournament of Triumph starts in 5 days? What, are we going to be having something similar to the fucking Olympics related event? Or is that... Or is this going to be somewhat different Is this going to be something different that reuses the same interaction spaces in a way that makes them more easily replayable? Because that would open up a new opportunity for community vibrancy and interaction in the competitive sense. Which I think this game could use some of that, but if it gets too much into like posturing outside of the competition grounds, at that point then I feel like it becomes toxic. Huh. That's a consideration I didn't know I had mentally stored away. Like, okay, you've achieved so much in your life. Why are you talking about it outside of your place if someone wasn't curious. Because I think posturing and grandstanding on the social side of the internet is really dragging us all down and making us all feel miserable. Like, damn, you were successful and awesome. That's cool. I'm glad to see you've got a highlight reel of your life, but I want to see real people just living. Not people who feel like they have to perform for everything. Oh, that definitely wouldn't be well accepted, but it would be interesting if competitive talk about one community or another community is kept within its own communities rather than spreading online to everywhere and everything. But that would require social tact. And a lot of people are not wanting to deal with that. A lot of people are just wanting to unwind and escape reality. I feel like I'm using the wrong words here, because what I'm wanting to say and what I'm actually saying are somewhat disconnected from each other, in a way that redirects meaning away from what I wanted to talk about. Or maybe instead of me using the wrong words, maybe I'm looking at an idealistic fantasy of some basic logic and failing to incorporate the actual reality of what that interaction would be like. Because you can try to achieve a fantasy of idealization, an idealized fantasy, but the more you chase just the fantasy and you fail to recognize the reality, adapt to acknowledging the reality, the more you struggle. Alright, then what's the most common fantasy my brain has been feeding me that's keeping me from getting my own life in order? Probably the fantasy of being able to hire at some point or find success that allows me to delegate things I need to get done to other people so that way I continue focusing on my creative and personal interests. And that is crippling me in my current scale of life because I'm not at that point yet. So anytime that fantasy comes up, I need to work on recognizing it and going, hold up, that's not where I'm at. That sounds like a wonderful way to escape, a wonderful way to relax. But I don't have a team of people I can trust built up yet that can help me with shit. I don't have a team of people that are willing to spend time out of their own lives to get stuff done in my interest because, let's be real here, I don't want to throw my friends into that role. At the same time, I also want people I can trust, so how the fuck am I going to find anyone if I don't ask friends for help? In moments like these where I wish I could just genuinely be asked questions to the dense dork, not to get to know them or anything, but more so just because, hey, they're out there living their own life and they've probably got life advice I could use, but they don't like me like that. So, that hope's dead. Oh. I don't need to do everything alone. At the same time, I don't need to just delegate everything to everyone else either. It's finding a balance that lets me be tactfully aware of what's happening in my life and the people affected by my life. So that way I can keep being true to myself without necessarily slowing down to a crawl at every single conflict. Or getting overwhelmed by things that are out of my control. Oh, nice. That worked out. Oh. Delusions are resilient, unfortunately. Just like any fantasy that's got an idea of comfort in it. Something soothing. Oh, there's a lot more to do. Gonna be another mission, and another mission, and another mission, and another mission, and another mission. Compressed currently. So this was one category. We've got another category there, then another category, and then the final category. Ballot player, admire sapling, catch wandering light, sit on bench. Now, one of my biggest frustrations in my life is the fact that due to choices I've previously made in my life and my own ADHD, which is autism and ADHD at the same time, that I get emotionally overwhelmed by things I'm not used to doing. And my brain gets really frustratingly in the way of things I want to do, even if I'm not used to doing it. No matter how much I want to do something, that isn't going to change my brain from like saying, but you don't want to do this, and it's just like, yes, I do. And then there's how depression factors into it, and it's just like, I swear. Okay. Getting disoriented in the clouds. Yeah, no, that's bound to happen. Just because kids can fly in certain situations does not mean that they as capable as knowing whether they're facing up from down relative to their environment as birds and other animals and insects are. Apparently insects use the sun to orient themselves in navigation, and that leads to the moth to a light effect, where they keep their back to the sun as a reference point, and or to any lit object at nighttime. If you could find a wavelength of light that bugs notice more sensitively than all the rest of the visible light spectrum, you could probably make it a pretty efficient, like, bug deflector. Now, I need to pack away everything related to Kamara and the dense dork that she was inspired by. Because it's not helping me move forward. Thinking about it all is fun, like, don't get me wrong, there is a certain amount of joy I get in thinking about the fictional dork. But they remind me too much of the dense dork. Which also means that in relation to, like, Meme Lord and... Between Meme Lord and Chill Vibes, I'm probably not going to be spending as much time around them if I think they're around the dense dork. Because I want to hang out with them. I want to hang out with those goobers a whole lot. They're comfy. They're family. Even if I don't always know what to say or how to hold a conversation. That's something my anxiety's been gnawing at a whole bunch recently. Is my inability to hold a casual conversation or open up around people I care about because I care so much about them. Because a friend I know pointed out how when you first meet me, I'm a lot more open than than after. Because, well, before you really get to know me and before I really get to know you, it doesn't matter if I say the wrong thing. Because each person is just a passing meeting. Like, sure, try to be polite to other people in their spaces, but even so, I'm very picky about the people I try to make my friends. Because I know not everyone can get along. Get over here! Ah! Motherfucker! Stubborn little light. Swear to fucking hell. Alright, got that done, at least. Oh, and that's not even to mention how I'm kind of frustrated with YouTube's limitations as a platform. Because it's like, I wouldn't have to upload two other separate versions of the same video if you would just save the original file in its proper quality, with the audio tracks as they are. Because seriously, the original file actually stores the audio track data more efficiently in a single file than it does as 3 separate files. Like, sure, many people may not use it, but fucking I like having that audio quality. The ability to edit and adjust audio on separate channels, so that way, if something happens in one channel, I'm not having to edit out the background audio as well just to get rid of it. One of my frustrations with VR chat is I can't set... Also, if YouTube is functioning off of measuring by engagement, then why is the social community option not titled engagement tools? Why can't we post comments without looking at the video directly? Like, I don't get it. We can respond to comments of our community, but we can't post comments. We can't post author comments on our own videos outside of the description without looking at the video directly, which just then artificially inflates the view count, and that pisses me off. Okay, it doesn't piss me off, but it sure does annoy the heck out of me. Also, why is it that it's just like, okay, 1,000,000 comments all in single file line? Like, if you have AI and it's able to recognize words and otherwise, then train it to recognize social context. From there, you can then compile comments into different weight values in the AI structure so as to group similar comments together. And then let people pick, okay, do I want to see the positive comments? Do I want to see the objective comments? Do I want to see the critical comments? Do I want to see the rage bait comments? Do I want to see the shitpost comments? Like, come on, that would bring so much more dynamic fluidity to a platform and increase mental health at the same time. Like, sure, there would be people who would then pick a style that actually degrades their mental health more often than not, but hey, you can't control the user. And the more you try to, the less they feel like an actual participant of the platform and more like someone who's just getting profited off of. Speaking of the profit line, it's like, okay, how do you deal with people who want to contribute but can't contribute because they don't have an income? Also, why would I have to manually write in closed captions? Why can't I just look at the auto-generated captions and then rewrite them as I find inconsistencies? Like, that would save time. But no, you have to fucking write it manually, and it's just like... Also, the pacing of the auto-generated captions is absolute dog shit. I could complain for hours on end, but I won't. I want to look into what a GIF file actually has as image compression potential, so that way, at the very least, I can use it as a way to trim down storage on my VR chat memory photos. Because in some sections, I take so many screenshots from moment to moment in those memories. It's like a little mini slideshow of you being there, and I don't want to erase all the data, but at the same time, I don't want to have two duplicates of basically the same picture, but just a little bit of something is different. This thing has been frustrating for me overall because I went to look at my external drive and holy fucking shit. I got overwhelmed by the number of files I would have to go sift through manually just to figure out, okay, where did I repeat what and why? I don't like fucking writing things down because it fucking takes more mental focus than anything else. If I'm not engaged with something, it takes more energy out of me. One of the reasons why I fucking find it easier to think about the Dunstork is even if they don't fucking like me, as a reference point for learning and understanding my own failings, it is hella fucking useful. Yeah, no. That is very true. So there are some things that don't necessarily need an answer, just look at the actions and that is the answer. And my brain sometimes fucking forgets that. They did not want to make time to talk with me, and they don't want to deal with me. Even if they do care, they clearly weren't willing to show it. My space, my sanity, my safety, my happiness. Because I want to sort all the music files I have on this fucking laptop. I want to cross-reference all the music files I have in storage, so that way I can make sure I have as few duplicates as possible. I want to learn how to automate a tagging system of some kind, so that way when I listen to a song and I like it, and it makes me think of a specific thing, I can tag it by that. Because there are so many useful functionalities built into fucking basic computers in terms of file organization that aren't used because people just forget to even consider it. Same thing with programs and everything. It's just like, okay, how do you answer people's questions when the thing you would direct them at is actually the thing they want to use, but they just don't recognize it. Just like... Hmm. It might be better to use that for that, but then why am I going to put everything there in? I've got my room to clean and organize, I've got my life to clean and organize, I've got a whole fucking backlog of things I need to do. Speaking of fucking getting things done, I keep forgetting to ask people who are in my life for help because I don't know who I can reliably ask for help from and who I can't. Because I know everyone's trying to live their own life, and I don't want to fucking try and cut time out of someone else's life when they want to be living a happy life. They want to be living their own life, damn it. Logically talking about this stuff aloud is actually helping reduce the psychological pressure that is built up in my mind. It's like, okay, I have a pile of flip notes that I want to get converted into videos, then upload to YouTube as an archive of shit. And then I don't ever have to touch it again, and I can delete the files that I'm not even working with anymore off my computer. I want to get Metaphor done, so that way I can get that off my computer and free up like 80 gigs of storage space. But my brain's like, well, focus on one of your more recent projects. And when I go to focus on one of my more recent projects, it's like, oh, but you don't want to do that right now. It's just like, and not where I thought I'd be. Not as capable as I wanted to be. I'm very, very tired of trying to figure out new plans or hopes that would allow me to fucking move forward and to optimize my time without abandoning people I care about. And I'm giving up on that. Because it was going to frustrate me more so than any amount of energy I could put in. Okay, they're not going with. I can get restarted on this since there's people nearby who might actually have a chance of helping, which then makes this more reasonable and manageable. Because I can deal with this half of the plant on my own pretty well enough. Trying to manage both halves is absolutely out of my fucking skill league and patience ceiling. So, and I'm not going to fucking press myself to do the damn near impossible. Especially not more than a few times. Because holy fucking shit, it is not worth that much effort. Oh. I have had a frustrating day, and I'm just talking about all the things that have been frustrating to me. Because right now, I just need to get it out of my system. At the same time, complaining also leads to more negativity and more complaining, so that isn't actually helping your mental health. Maybe not, but it's helping my brain process it, so please, just let me be not okay. For a bit. Because if I don't allow that space for myself, I will break. And I don't want to break. I don't want to fucking give up on living, on being there for the people who I care about. on having my own life sorted out, on having all of this fucking bullshit organized and dealt with so that way I can really focus on what matters to me. Instead of being worried about things that I can't do anything about. Because I can't do anything about the dense dark. I can't do anything about the way my brain gets fucking all tangled up socially. Not without constant, persistent effort that I would have to make day by day that I'd have no idea if I can do, or if that would just take even more energy drain out of me, because then completing that task would leave something else to fall by the wayside. I have 4 fucking forks and a spoon. How the fuck am I supposed to do this? I could easily make a dozen knives, but the dozen knives are not going to be useful as a fork, and a dozen forks are not going to be useful as a goddamn spoon. Because if you consider the forks my energy for working on things I can like and can actually engage with, then yeah, I've got 4 forks per day. Pretty much. Maybe per week, I don't know. If it's about dealing with daily tasks and otherwise that are kind of monotonous and overall fucking tiring, then most days I'm sitting at a 1 spoon interval, where every now and then I might be able to have an extra spoon just from scrap leftover energy from the previous day, or because of whatever fucking mental buff or debuff I'm dealing with. I mean, there's the chance of me being able to sacrifice 2 forks for a spoon, but my mind absolutely hates it, and I cannot reliably use that as a skill. And then there's the fucking knives. Oh, the fucking knives clanking against each other like 1,000 little thoughts looking to drill their way into the fucking core. I really need to fucking learn how to retrap those knives, because I have too many of them, and I need to figure out how to break them down back into pieces I can use for spoons and forks. Because if you think about the number of thorns on any fucking rosebush, that is the number of knives I have, and the knives are not particularly useful when interacting with people. If anything, the knives just drive people away. Tired, still haven't gotten all the gunk out of a half-stitched mental wound. Gotta get my identity pulled together so that way I can fucking spend $7 to at least submit a proper learner's permit to update my driver's license related ID, so that way I can then make sure my social security number, which I never asked to exist in the first place. I need to get that frozen, so that way I don't have to worry about that. Then I have to figure out how the fuck I'm going to get an income and a job in this economy. Because if I try streaming too much, I'll end up wearing out and dying out of social fatigue. And no, I don't mean actually dying, but psychologically dying and just staying quiet and mute and these videos are the whole reason why I'm even able to fucking consider going back to streaming, because if I gave up on recording my Sky Dailies or other videos completely, then I would not even consider streaming an option. The fact I can hold basic, meaningful conversations and interact with people in a casual, regular manner, meaningful manner when other people are around, is incredibly useful. And it gives me hope in that direction, but I hadn't actively processed that because I'm worried about what happens when I'm going to be left alone for too long during a stream and I suddenly say the stupidest thing or bring up stuff that I don't need to be dealing with right now. Frustration wakes the mind up but expends energy itself. Sadness, it reduces, helps you process through weight and grief, but it slows you down. Happiness spends energy, but it doesn't always focus on the task. There's gotta be a fourth avenue where it's just like, okay, maybe neutral is the fourth avenue and they're all subverted by fear. Instead of thinking of neutrality as something separate from the trio, rather think of it as the baseline. Use fear as the subverting catalyst, using memory as a psychological reference point for organizing and recognizing emotions, and how they interact with each other, subvert each other, and whatnot. Anger is weak to sadness. Sadness is weak to happiness. Happiness is weak to anger. Or is it the other way around? No, that's the right way around. But that's not the full spectrum of emotions, and by damn it, I want to be able to know how the other emotions interact with each other. Like, why have we not been researching this shit and deploying it in a relatable and interactable way that's actually engaging and fun for people to consider? So that way they can have that mental tool quietly buried inside their psyche as part of something they enjoyed as a fun little game. Is being able to teach people things without them realizing that you've actually, given them a skill and a tool is one of the most fundamental adulting skills in all of history. I can't rely on Lillian for help because all she wants to do is buy me more games, which I appreciate the sentiment, but fucking what I need is not more games, not more backlog. What I need is fucking real practical support. It doesn't come tied up in a fucking legal contract. Damn it. What I need is to learn how to be here for myself more effectively and efficiently, so that way my own life is not being pulled in 20 different directions because of my ambitiousness and my naive hopes. do I even want to spend time with? Because it's like my brain shorts out and short circuits when it tried to think of, okay, is friend available? And the default response for network for my brain is like, no. It's not go check, go give them a message, because then maybe there's a time delay and that's going to fucking mess up plans and everything, and I fail at rescheduling and I don't need to solve everything. I don't need to be perfect. But I want to at least to build up fundamental skills that I can rely on even when I'm on low mental and emotional energy, let alone physical energy. Find it ironic. Fucking told the gun store one time to not pack away part of yourself, and it's like, well, that's what I'm having to do to just live on and keep fucking living my own life instead of fucking bothering with anything in that direction. Even now, it's still not fucking easy to compress. There's no clean way. But if I try to mentally suffocate it, that just backfires. If I try to mentally accept it and then move on, it's too addicting to fucking blindly accept. Fucking bullshit. They don't like me like that. They never liked me like that outside of whatever fucking fantasy they thought I could fulfill. They didn't see me as a person. Who can blame them? Who can fucking blame them? After all, the traditional definition of a person is a human. Sometimes I don't feel human. Yeah, let's not make that mental categorization, brain. Drawing that boundary line between two concepts would just screw over our entire ability to continue operating. Because you can still, because in many cases you can both fear someone and still recognize them as a person to some degree. It's when the line of total terror is crossed that you stop recognizing a person and it just becomes, ah yes, the thing creature, whatever I fear. And that's just a survival mechanism. Nothing more, nothing less. That's why reaching true terror is something you want to stay the fuck away from. Fear has a chance to create paranoia. Terror practically feeds on paranoia, and paranoia on terror. They're mutualistic mental states. In the worst regard. Am I an eldritch entity trying to learn about reality, or am I a human being who just feels eldritch enough? Because my ability to connect with others is inconsistent. To be there and be supportive of them. I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, you are reaching beyond your limitations. Let's please not go into like, oh, your intended limitations, your unintended limitations, fucking... Yes, we're autistic. Yes, we have ADHD, and yes, those affect us in ways that that other people are not affected. That doesn't mean I'm lesser than another person. It's playing on a harder difficulty, that's all. And if it was a difficulty I could change while in the midst of living, oh, I would. But that's not an option. So if you'll excuse me for now, I'm going to just keep trying to do what I can. The fact I've gotten so hurt as to actually be scared of someone actually holding space for me is a significant backstop. Oh. Ironically, the level of stress I felt myself under, this level of stress, fear, and worry I felt myself under back then is still far larger than the stress, worry, and fear I feel now. Yeah. Life is overwhelming. I don't know how to communicate with Lillian in a way that allows her to help me properly as a friend. beyond just basic things. Don't know how to communicate with Pyra in a way that allows me to share my excited ideas and get like some back and forth space going on there. I don't know how to resolve Lily's mental issues in a way that lets her hang around Pyra without getting caught up in her own negative thoughts, so that's still an issue. I still have 3 days out of my week where my off time is spent dedicated to another person who I honestly need I honestly care about, but they're not someone I would choose to be around all too often if I could help it. They're a small dose person. Someone you can only take in a small dose because otherwise you just get worn out. They have their positive qualities and they do help me maintain my perspective on life, but the amount of times they're asking me to help them with their mental stuff is seriously draining me. In the moment I can care about, connect, and love them deeply. But in a different moment when I'm not having to be around them, I don't want to interact with them. Because I know I already have dedicated time spent to interacting with them. And I don't want that time where I have freedom to be encroached on. Fucking hell. I want to know that I left behind a good enough summary on a surface level that explains what happened between me and that dense dork without dismissing either person's perspective, while also acknowledging the truths I hold, because I don't know what truths they hold, and I cannot know that, because it is not my place to know it without them speaking it. And they don't want to share their truths, as far as I know. They don't want to have anything to do with me. Until all ends, I will respect them. I don't want to just leave a million fragments of details, notes, and things I've wanted to say locked inside of fucking hour-long videos upon hour-long videos stored on an external hard drive, taking up space that I really don't need to have taken up. $360 gigabytes of video files all over my emotional state relative to everything and the way I've both moved on and stayed stuck since everything happened is not efficient storage of details. If anything, it's hella inefficient storage. Because, like, how do I want to just erase files that show my progress? But at the same time, I don't need to keep I don't want to keep files that just say the same thing a million different times. If they say it in different ways, that would be fine. But if it's the same information being recounted again and again, then it doesn't deserve to be recorded again and again. It deserves to have already had its note made in the portfolio details. So that way I don't have to worry about it. Hell, if I could have a nice little portfolio of all the details and the things I've wanted to say or communicate and where I stand relative to each of those things now, that would leave me with so much comfort and a sense of deep safety. Because then I would know that the portfolio is A, with me, B, keeps an as accurate a timeline of events as possible, because fucking I know my own memory is going to get some things wrong, and I don't want to fucking leave opportunities for people to then frame me to where... Oh... for things I didn't do. Sure. The impacts of my actions cannot be argued. I scared the hell out of them and they thought I was threatening them. I don't want my intentions erased, and I don't want more opportunities for people to just twist my entire perspective and experience related to that out of the picture. You don't get to speak over me if it means you're going to dismiss me as a person. I will not tolerate that. I'll tolerate a whole bunch of other bullshit, but that, I'll fight you tooth and nail to death. Because I don't want to be excused for my flaws when I still have flaws. I don't want to be called perfect or otherwise. Don't want to be forgiven if it's not in someone's best interests to forgive me. If it's not okay or they're not ready to. At the same time, I don't want to just be erased as a person who lived, who tried, who put forth her own damn fucking efforts. Even if it wasn't enough. Because if we keep erasing people like me from the logs of history, if we keep erasing people who weren't perfect from the record of history, then we'll never have the tools to help those people live healthy lives, to live their own lives without impacting others negatively. If you don't want to read such history, fine. If you don't want to deal with it, that's all more power to you. But the moment you try to erase it is the moment where I consider you a fucking threat to the entirety of human civilization. No, not even just human civilization, any civilization. Oh wow, really, the fancy animation was needed. Hmm. Okay. The core needs room to breathe. How do I give it that room while also getting things done? Because if I suffocate it under a pile of tasks, objectives, and idealizations, then I will not be able to live. If I suffocate it under a pile of fantasy, comfort, and convenience, I will not be able to act. If I suffocate it under a pile of fears, paranoias, worries, and other delusions, I will not be connected to reality. So I want to stay connected to reality while retaining my ability to act and live. Okay, nope. I'm just gonna be staying the fuck up here right now. Leave the confusion for the crow. You try to keep everyone alive, and they all die. You try to make everyone redeemable, and the system collapses. You try to do any single absolute to the purest extent of an absolute, and it backfires. It has consequences that you could never know of ahead of time. So what can be reasonably done to the scale we're living on? What are all the reasonable tools and strategies for handling things throughout the circle? Because if you can get those skill sets down, you have a higher chance of being able to reduce the strain on the entire circle. Circle of problems, stress, and confusion. But that means the diversity, that means you will then be hosting an ecosystem where problems are given the chance to flourish and thrive into new diversities and directions. Okay, but that's life in general. That's always going to happen, regardless of if we want it to or not. Just avoiding the problems isn't going to change anything. They'll be there waiting. Trying to erase the problems completely will only foster the perfect environment for new problems to emerge, or for the same problems to be born anew. It's all an ecosystem. From money to power, social dynamics to otherwise, it's all ecosystems. And below ecosystems are regular systems. Individual systems of operation. I see a bit of positivity there. I don't know how to feel about this comment, because in one hand there's the hopeful part of me saying, if there were another life and I were to meet that dense stork again, I would hope I would be capable of being a better friend. At the same time, it's like, if they're just going to be the same as they are in this life, then, and I'm going to be the same as I am in this life without anything to change to prevent the same thing from happening again, then no, I don't want that eternity. If the same shit is just going to happen again endlessly, I don't want that eternity. And that'll be your best opportunity, gremlins. And of course. Let as far away as I could. Are you kidding me? Ah. Oh. I'll be okay. Oh, one of you still down there. Okay. Don't need to worry then. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. If I had a country, I'd probably make bot farms illegal. Especially when it comes to social media. Because that is the equivalent of psychological manipulation on the scale of the casual consciousness. because it knows the world isn't nice. That there are things more twisted and cursed out there than it. Vines curling around each other like petals on a flower. Alright then, I'll change my strategy. Welcome newcomers on the path to Eden. My name is Flicker, and I will be your temporary guide for this evening. Remember, when possible, please take the safest paths. If you see a guide mess up and fall further back down the path, then please do not attempt to rescue them. After all, guides exist to help get you further along the path without losing as much life. Thank you, game, for consistently just ignoring my inputs. That's the most annoying thing as possible right now. And guides are not obligated to sacrifice themselves for you. They will do their best to help you along the way. But the moment you demand that they do something that they themselves cannot pull off without significant risk to their health, and that they are not willing to do, is the moment you are being unreasonable and will no longer be guided. Each guide's limits are different. A teacher is a form of guide. Well, I don't know where to go. Okay. Don't know where to get more candle wax and don't want to spend a whole lot of time. Try the first floor of the Vault of Knowledge. Oh, I forgot to grab a companion. Damn it. That might be part of it. Just slides over to you, intimidating as hell. Where are you looking and just like, I am the spooky bitch! Fear me! Please don't. Please don't. I'm not asking that in the sense of you can't, or that you really have any control over it, but I don't know. I appreciate the efforts. Respect me as a person. Just don't push yourself too far, okay? Well, hope this candle cake is enough. Actually was. Awesome. Ah! I did not want to fall into the water, thank you. And just because I can, let's get a daily memory lantern repaired. Because I at least enjoy that a whole bunch. Sure, it's challenging and confusing as hell to navigate different complicated environments, but that's part of the fun. It's practicing a new skill set. So long as you aren't being asked how to walk, climb, run, and duck all over it, learn how to do all of that all over again, then I think it's gonna be okay. Oh. So you, and then you, and then you. Hello there, Light Scholar. Take the spirit on an adventure. I mean, we're really just going to be doing light mending, as per usual. I prefer this. It can be good to get frustrated with yourself. If you don't work through the problems that you're frustrated on, and acknowledge what's difficult about them, you'll be setting unreasonable expectations for yourself. Oh. Hi there. How's your nap going? Damn, you're both sleeping solid. Fair enough. So we start with yellow, we move to green. A device in disrepair. Holy heck, that is major distortion on the hand and body. Jeez. Ugh. Hmm. Hmm. Ugh. Oh, hey-oh. Neat. Oh, I don't think someone's going to see that. Let me get it. Yeah, that one's accounted for, that one isn't. Oh. They're gonna get it. Oh, someone's got the observation thing active. That's good. Mm. Alright, that's an easy-ish one. Hold up. There's an under here. Yep. Game? What the hell? Either this is just inherent, or someone brought it in, but either way. Yep. Hi. How are you doing? as the scale of these worlds increases and the structures themselves become more complicated, it's going to be very essential that someone, in some way or form, manages to bring in one of the light mending directional tools, locators or otherwise. And here I thought I wasn't going to fucking find the last one 3 times in a row and actually managed to be in the cutscene 3 times in a row. That was cool. Now I just want to spend time gathering candles. Down we go! Oh, I want to wander and explore. Get into all the nooks and crannies. See if there's anything really hidden here. Probably not, but hey. A girl can enjoy her own silly adventures. I want no more, no more there, no more there. Yeah, no. Oh. Some of these structures would be absolutely mean to hide anything in, so they didn't do so. They at least limited it somewhat to obvious surfaces and outer protrusions. Ow! Okay, maybe I should have looked up before using that one. That's on me. That's on me. Okay, good. It requires you being near it for longer than a split second. That helps keep it functional, yet practical. Giant thing never gets fucking used. Yeah, pretty much. think that's enough. Return. Oh. Hmm. Sapling bench is probably going to be better. Uh, Why, yes, thank you for continuing to remind me. CLES. Musculus. Muscles. Alright. So there's short-term and long-term energy storage. What are the fucking odds? Bruh. Ow. Not one of them. I know if I move from this spot, it's going to be another case of, but you were too late, or hey, now that you're over here, back where you thought people would be, there's people in the other spot now. It's just like, Well, I'm gonna read this while I'm waiting. Glad I could help. I'm probably gonna just keep sitting here reading. Yeah. The freezing there. So, how do we turn our butt on? Oh, fucking hell. Hmm. Where did it flex more? Upper under your thumbs or the lower? $2,000 practice reps? Hmm. Nope. Nope. Okay, have a good day. Why the fuck would I? Oh, neat. Hmm. Hmm. Is outdated. Both strong and soft. Risk, risk of injury, improve blood flow, and enhance performance across a wide range of activities. Athletic performance and aesthetic goals when appropriate for your sport or fitness plan. Personal fitness plan. Yeah. This looks like a good reference point for information on muscles, because it actually gets into the details and explains it in a fairly basic way. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. And are incapable of relaxing. Okay, so that's the hypertension in my legs and certain parts of my bodies. body. Okay, so that's what massage does. It helps undo the knot, and then if you stretch after a massage and do fitness after a massage, you'll have better results. You want to alternate a bit of massage, a bit of work, a bit of massage, a bit of work. Multiple angles and deep into the tissue. Huh. I walked right into myth number 3 face first. And unfortunately did not have a pair of soft boobs. Don't hold the fibers in a stretched position long enough to have lasting effective impact. Okay, so that would explain the physical therapy and why it's like, okay, hold the position for 30 seconds. Oh, okay. Alright, that's another good article in context. Yeah, and that is said by these two, practically silently said by these two articles. Unless you're a bodybuilder who wants to go for a hard, rock hard tone, image, or otherwise. What I say? Okay, good. I am still awake. It's better to make sure that you're still flexible. Well, yeah, or you can do slower reps for, like, stamina. Water retention. Okay. These words mean nothing to me currently. Okay. Alright, now to actually read through the sections and not just lean off the titles. Nuts. Massage gun. Hmm. Hmm. Well, if both muscle and fat can be used as a defense mechanism, then where it's located on the body can indicate what you're better suited for. Aww. Fucking wish I could give the article writer hugs and head pats. Okay, good. I could use more body fat, I'm gonna be real. Look like a fucking walking skeleton covered in flesh. And that's my link line talking, by the way, not me. Oh, screw you. Nah, don't feel like it. Ah. Oh, joy. Deleted by user. Okay, well, if you delete the user, that's fine, but please don't delete the question. Unless it has, like, personal information in it. Then how do you define personal information? And oh, that's a rabbit hole I don't want to deal with when I'm tired. Oh. Okay, so there's some useful information there. Ah, okay, that's neat to know. That's neat to know. Hmm, coolio. Alright. Okay, at that point, just no. I'm not sitting down again just to go back to the fucking village. Oh. Since the ADHD brain fails at breaking apart tasks because it sees the whole task and not the individual components, then I need to manually break down the task for myself when I feel overwhelmed. And then, when I decide I want to go do the task, I should remind myself that I want to finish said task, even when I'd rather do something else. Well, to all those who snuck by and saw a fragment of this recording, thank you. To those of you who stuck around and watched a good chunk through, I deeply appreciate it. I hope you all have a good day, good night, whatever time or non-time it is. If it isn't good, you're feeling lost, lonely, stuck, frustrated, scared, confused. Oh, I hope that things either improve for you, that the chaos both outside and within stays manageable enough, or at the very least that you're able to find some place to sit, rest, and vent from, without hurting yourself or others. We're all just trying to live our own lives out here, one bit at a time. My name is Slicker. I've gotten my Sky Dailies done, so I'll be seeing you all in the next recording or video on my watch links. Good night.